Coleen Gentz, so happy to see you this morning.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
may I say, in the name of all Adrian Dominicans, thank you for your beautiful and gracious service to all of us. I know you work with the resident services, and I suspect that your job description has changed through the years. Is that true?
Yes. I started out, I was 20-some years as a nursing assistant. And then this job in resident services opened up. And so I put in a bid for it, and I got it, and I do enjoy it.
The reason that you came in the first place to the Adrian Dominican community?
I was not even aware that Maria Hall was here. From the road, you didn't see it, and I just wasn't familiar. Mm-hmm. But the director of nursing at the time was Leota Isley, and she went to my church in Blissfield. We went to the same church. She knew my family. And so she came to me one day and asked me if I would consider coming here and learning to be a nursing assistant. We didn't have to have the class. Mm-hmm. She trained me here, and it was 2 weeks, I think, of training. And it was very extensive, and, you know, I learned a lot in that first 2 weeks. But I worked for a year, a little over a year, and then I left to have my family. Mm-hmm. And I brought my 2 children back years later. They were just young, to see where I worked. And at that time, they were so short of help in nursing that they told me I could set my hours if I would come back. Oh, and so I came back just every other weekend for quite a while. And then gradually, as the children got older, it worked into a full-time position.
So it's 2 children?
Yes, 2
And did
children.
you continue to live in Blissfield?
Yes, I've been in Blissfield all my life.
Oh, my. And your husband?
He's from Blissfield.
Oh.
So we've led a very sheltered life.
Well, I love the name of the city.
Yeah.
The Blissfield, the field of bliss. And what is his occupation?
He worked at Champion Spark Plug for quite a while. And then he went to Lenawee Stamping in Tecumseh. And he's a little older than I am, so he retired 2 years ago, but he has a landscaping business.
Oh, wonderful. And your children are grown and...
Both of them are married and have children.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. My daughter lives in Dexter, so she's an hour away. That's not too bad. And then my son is in Ypsilanti.
Lovely. So close by.
Yes.
Relatively close by.
Yes.
What was your impression when you first came to work here on campus? What was your impression of the campus or of the staff that was here at the time?
I felt welcome right off the bat. It was I liked the spiritual atmosphere. I really did. And the sisters were very kind. I thought it was kind of mystical because I knew nothing about the Adrian Dominicans. And so it just seemed like it was a more secretive place than where now it's more, it's very well known and different things are in the paper about the sisters, and then it's a little different now than it was then. It was much smaller then.
Were sisters here in Roncalli where we are today?
No. But on all 4 floors of the Maria building.
It was before the renovation then?
Before the renovation.
And the renovation added 2 floors, correct?
Yes, yes.
And the lobby.
Right.
And the connection between the buildings.
That's right.
Yes. That was probably a harrowing time for many because of the the moves and
it was. When I first came, there were so many sisters that were in positions here. Marie Urban was the administrator. There were sisters that were chaplains. There were sisters that were nurses. just about every department had sisters.
Mm-hmm.
That was nice. I
Yes.
enjoyed that.
Well, that was one way to get to know the sisters,
That's right.
too.
Yes.
Because you hadn't met any before.
No.
Do any sisters remain in your heart that you've worked with through these 31 years?
There's been so many, but I think the ones that I was exceptionally close to was, Sister Mary Burke.
Oh, yes.
She and I got to be good friends, and she didn't make good friends with a lot of the lay people,
Yes.
but we clicked, and her and I got along good. I enjoyed her. I was very close to Sister Reginald.
Oh, my.
And her blood sister, Agnes Marie.
Oh, God bless you.
Her and I were close. Catherine Mann. I still keep in touch with her nephews.
Oh,
Catherine Mann
well,
and
those
I.
are names from
Yes.
our blessed past.
Mary Singer was a nurse here. I worked with her, and I did enjoy her. There's been so
when
many.
When did you decide to go into resident services?
Well, a job opening came along, and Helen Belcito was so good to me. She kind of encouraged me to come to this department, and once I did, she took me under her wing and just taught me everything. She was wonderful to me. She really was.
What were your responsibilities to begin with?
Well, when a sister's health status changed and she would move from one room to another, I would pack up her belongings and move her. I would do shopping for sisters. I would go to doctor's appointments with them. Every day it was something different. So I really enjoyed being able to get out of the building,
Yes.
because in nursing you don't have
Yeah.
that opportunity. So I just
So
really
you
have
would drive
enjoyed it.
them to the
Yes.
and stay with them then during the
Right, during their appointments.
appointment. Well, that was a privilege, wasn't it?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yes, I do.
I'm sure
I
you
like my
became a
job.
confidant of many sisters.
Mhm.
Yes.
I've gotten to know many that I didn't know,
Mhm.
so that's been nice.
And you still do that today, correct?
Yes, yes.
Mhm. And is that the major part of your week here is accompanying sisters?
Yes.
Would you say that?
That's the thing that comes first.
Mhm.
And then in downtime is when the moves are scheduled and other things that we do. When there's a death, we put out all the belongings for the family, and
Oh my.
there's many different aspects to this job.
And that's one of the more challenging or difficult parts of the job is losing a sister. I mean, they've been here maybe relatively lengthy time, and then you get close to them
Get
and
close to
yes,
them.
yeah.
Yes.
Well, especially
That's true.
someone like Helen Belcito.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That was
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah.
She was a great lady.
Mm-hmm. When she was in bed, I went to whisper in her ear that the Iraqi sisters were praying for her. And she said, "Stop yelling in my ear."
Oh. That sounds like her. She told it like it was.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
but she did have a kind heart.
Oh my, beautiful, beautiful. Has anything changed that you've been surprised about in the life of the sisters, or the campus growth, or the personalities that have become such an integral part of our campus?
Well, I don't know if it's really surprised me, but there certainly is a big change in the fact that there's few sisters that hold the positions that they used to. And it's become much bigger, larger with the additional floors and, more nursing staff. And so that's changed. It was more like a closer community.
When it was smaller.
Years ago when it was smaller. Now it's a little bit more institutionalized. Or at least that's how I see it. You know, I don't know.
Well, because of the size and.
Yes.
But the communication is wonderful, isn't it? It's like, I feel it's like a well-oiled wheel, the way the departments work with one another and are aware of what's really happening in our environment.
Yes.
Wouldn't you agree?
I would agree.
Yes.
Yes.
And who is your supervisor?
Nilda Rao.
And was
she
when you came?
Yes.
Yes.
She's been, not when I first came.
No, but when you came to the resident. Yes.
She's been here a number of years, too.
I think she should wear the habit, don't you?
I do, too. We'll tell her that.
Yeah. Is there anything you would like to say before we head to a new employee? What advice or expression would you give to them?
I think just to what they contribute to the sisters enriches their lives, and it's so important, you know, to have interaction with the sisters and the way they interact with them. You know, that can make their day. Some of them don't get out of their rooms a lot, and so when a person just peeks their head in and greets them, that means a lot. So I think just the interaction with the sisters.
You've probably become familiar with this phrase. When you've met one Adrian Dominican sister, you've met one Adrian Dominican sister.
Yes, I've heard that.
Yes, and you can attest to that,
yes.
I'm sure.
I can.
Do you have a dream of retiring?
Probably when I'm 65. I'd like to work until I'm 65.
Beautiful.
So that's not too long.
No, no.
2.5 years.
Yes. Will you add such a beautiful presence in our midst, Coleen? I'm really grateful for all the services that you give to our sisters, and you do it so graciously.
Well, thank you.
So blessings
Sister
on
Joy.
the years to come.
Thank
and thank you for your time today.
Thank